Hey there, and welcome to Sullivan Smart Sense. I'm your host, Heather Sullivan. Today, we're going to talk about something that hopefully will help you save a lot of money and maybe even make your life a lot easier. We're going to talk about beauty care, skin care, and products that perhaps we're all wasting money on that we don't really need. We're going to be talking with a nationally known dermatologist who says that there are a lot of myths out there, actually, and that we're buying in and we're being sold products we may not necessarily need. So we're going to talk about some of those and some ways that might help you save money, especially in these trying times. She has a great book. I want to show it to you right here. It's called The Skincare Hoax, and it's how you're being tricked into buying lotions and potions and wrinkle creams, again, that she says we just don't necessarily need. So we're going to simplify things and show you what you do need. So please join me in welcoming. This is Dr. Fayne Frey. Thanks so much for being with us, Dr. Frey. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
Well, first, let's dive in and talk about how much are we wasting? Because, I mean, we all know, you may even like a product, and then before you know it, that same brand comes out with another product. And so, we keep buying these things. And it takes time for things to work. So you never really know what's really working, what's not. How much money are we wasting?
I wish I could give you an exact dollar amount, but everybody, of course, it varies, differs. But let me tell you this, the skincare industry is a fantastic industry, and it really makes products that are good for us. The problem is that's also the cause of a lot of confusion, and mostly through marketing. They have a huge advantage. The advantage is this. The most important information, Heather, that you may or may not know on any skincare product bottle is the ingredient listing. But consumers don't understand the ingredient listing, right? They don't know triethanolamine and propylene glycol and caprylic triglyceride. So it's a blind item.
I can't even pronounce those.
Exactly. It's a blind item. So all we can do is go by the marketing. And marketing is very powerful. So we are all sitting in front of our desks, and we're with COVID, everybody's on their iPads and their phones. Forbes, the digital marketing experts, say we see between 4,000 and 10,000 messages and ads every day. Mm-hmm. So these messages oftentimes make women in particular feel inadequate, like we need a lot of these products. And unfortunately, a lot of the products we don't need.
Yeah. Well, let's start diving into some of that. Let's just talk about what you think are some of the bigger myths. What are some of the things that we're buying that we just don't need?
Okay, well, let me tell you what you do need.
Okay.
You need sunscreen.
Yes.
Every day, 365 days a year, even in January. It's like brushing your teeth. You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you put your sunscreen on. You need a moisturizer. A moisturizer is good because when you're dry, you see the flakes and the scales. Skin functions best when it's hydrated. So we need a moisturizer. That's what really you should have on your vanity. Cleansers, we can talk about cleansers. There's no science that shows washing your face is good for you. As much as people want to roll their eyes, I never put cleanser on my face.
Really?
If you wear a lot of makeup and you don't want to do a lot of laundry, right? When you go to bed at night, you soil your pillowcase. If you don't want to do a lot of laundry, then you can have a nice smile-free cleanser. But aside from that, the night creams and the eye creams and the day creams and the toners and the primers and the essences, there's no medical evidence that any of these things are really good for you. Again, I emphasize wellness over beauty. So those kinds of products you don't need. Talk about saving money. You don't need all those products.
Okay. Well, let's dive in because you've got a list of 5 things that we really do need. Mm-hmm. You started talking about some of them, but I know at the top of your list is petroleum jelly. So let's talk about this and maybe how this means that we don't need some of those other things.
Well, petroleum jelly is a great product because you can buy a big pound of it for like $5.
Yeah.
Very versatile. So I'm not saying you need it, but it's a nice thing to have on your vanity. You can control wild eyebrows with it, and you can put it on your nose if you're chafed from a cold. If you have a hard time putting earrings in your ear, you can put a little bit on and get it in there. It's great for dry areas like your elbows, your knees. It's great for your nails. If you have dry nail cuticles, you can massage it at night, Vaseline. So the petroleum jelly is really a great product to just have around, and it's $5 for a big jar, and it probably will last you for months and months.
Now, I've known people that, and they learn this from, their mothers or the previous generation, but they use petroleum jelly as an anti-wrinkle preventative. Is this true or is this a myth?
Well, there's a nice trend out right now called slugging. People are putting petroleum jelly on their faces at night before they go to bed. The nice thing about petroleum jelly is it's a wonderful moisturizer, is it prevents water from evaporating. So imagine if you have a raisin and you pump water into it, right? You get a grape. Now it's temporary, but it is anti-wrinkle. So because of its moisturizing effects, you might see an improvement in your tone or texture of your skin. I find it a little too greasy for my face, so I'm not throwing petroleum jelly on my face every day. But if it's something you'd want to try, I don't discourage it.
Will it actually help to prevent wrinkles from forming?
No, it won't help prevent wrinkles from forming. It will just temporarily perhaps improve the appearance of fine lines because of the hydration effects, the
Oh, I
moisturizing
see.
effects.
What about people who have acne prone skin or
Mhm.
sensitive skin? Is there a concern about clogging your pores with it?
In my experience, petroleum jelly is not acne causing. That doesn't mean for some, for some individuals, they may find a little irritation and they might find it does. I always say if you have acne, which is a potentially scarring medical condition, before you start treating yourself, I would go see a dermatologist.
Okay. Well, let's move down the list. You started talking a little bit about moisturizer. And
Mhm.
so are you saying that moisturizer is really enough to moisturize our skin, that we don't need the wrinkle creams and the night creams and the things like that?
Well, anti-wrinkle creams and night creams are moisturizers, and how well they work depend on how well they moisturize. There's a great concept in this country. We have laws, and the law says a cosmetic, and most of these products are cosmetics if they're sold over the counter, right, on the skincare aisle. Cosmetics by law can't intend to really change the structure or function of your skin, because if they did, they'd be drugs and have to go through the FDA. So the intent of these products isn't even to really permanently intend to change the structure or function or to treat a disease for that matter. That also defines it as a drug. So as a cosmetic, its intent is to adorn. So if you, again, you hydrate the skin, it does look a little better. And the anti-wrinkle creams and the night cream's actually pretty funny if you think about it. I mean, if you work the night shift, do you need a day cream? I mean, do the ingredients know any difference, right?
Right,
It's
right.
pretty funny. So, do you need a moisturizer? Look, you people know when their skin is dry, right? You see the flakes and you see the scales, and it is true. Hydrated skin with adequate water content functions best. So, yes, if your skin is dry, a good, well-formulated moisturizer is helpful. And you don't have to spend a lot on it. I know you're interested in the cost. There's no correlation between what you spend on a product and how well it works. And I know this because I test them in my office with a machine called a corneometer. We actually measure water content of skin. So I
Oh.
know whether the product is actually working or not. And
Mhm.
there's absolutely no correlation. So you don't have to spend a lot of money for a really quality, effective, safe moisturizer.
Well, you touched on the idea that these are cosmetics. They're not,
Mhm.
prescriptions or medications, but some of them will have RetinA or alpha hydroxy acids. And I remember when RetinA was a prescription, and now you can buy it in over the counter products. So what role do you think these play? Do we need these, or are these again more things we're spending money on that maybe we don't?
Well, RetinA is a prescription. RetinA is the brand name for a product with a vitamin A derivative in it called tretinoin. And tretinoin is a very effective anti-acne preparation. There is a version, and there's other vitamin A derivatives, also prescription, that are anti-wrinkle creams. Now, on their own package inserts, they say does not restore more youthful skin. Can it help? In about 10%, in my experience, about 10% of the women who use it, they acknowledge about a moderate improvement. I've never seen anyone get great improvement from the prescription product. Now, retinol is the over the counter vitamin A version. It's a derivative of the tretinoin. Personally, I haven't found it does very much at all. And again, how well those products work as cosmetics, in my opinion, depends more on their ability to hydrate the skin, to moisturize.
Okay. Well, you also talked about sunscreen. You talked about the importance of that. What should we look for in a sunscreen? And let me just throw out just to my own question, because I'm one of these people that my eyes are very sensitive to
Mhm.
SPF. So just what are your thoughts, or and some of the options out there in terms of making sure we've got a good, effective sunscreen?
Sure. Great question. So sunscreen should be SPF 30 or higher. And I tell people, find the one you like. I'm a runner. I have the same problem as you when it gets in the eyes. I prefer a stick. You can actually get a stick sunscreen. You open it up, you apply it, put it on the back of your hands, on your face, your ears, your neck. It's inexpensive, $10. It lasts for months. It's not like you need to spend a lot of money. And I should tell you, I do have a website. I don't sell anything and I don't work for any skincare company, but we have selected effective, safe products, including sunscreens that are made by national and internationally known brands that you can buy down at your local drugstore and your local pharmacies that are affordable and available. So I encourage everybody to give that a shot.
Okay. And that's fryface.com, right? That's what I've got.
Fryface.com. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Great. Okay, well, let's go back and talk a little bit more about cleanser, because you were talking about, and I've heard this theory before. I've never tried it, but that you don't have to wash your face. How does that work?
Yes, I did a study about 10 years ago, maybe even a little longer now. We surveyed in the office 500 women, and only half actually used a cleanser on their face. Now, keep in mind, these are people with healthy skin. I'm not talking about people with skin conditions or folks with acne, different story. But if you have healthy skin, there is no science that proves you have to use a cleanser on the face. Cleansers wash away the oils, the proteins, the lipids that your skin actually uses to keep your skin hydrated. So I use water in the shower, and there's no need to put a cleanser on the face if you have healthy skin.
What if you're a makeup wearer, though? What if you've got a lot of makeup on your face?
Again, if you don't want to soil your pillowcase, you're wearing this makeup all day long. You're walking around fine. And it just doesn't make sense that if you lie down at night and shut off the lights, all of a sudden it's going to create a problem. You've been wearing this makeup all day. So again, if you don't want to soil your pillowcase, the truth is most women at the end of the day, their makeup is worn off pretty much anyway. But if you want to splash it with water, a lot of it's water-based, it will wash off. If you have oil-based product on your face and you don't want to soil your pillowcase and you want to use a mild soap-free cleanser, that's fine. But there's no science that says you're going to be healthier because of it.
Some women might have concerns, though, again, because their skin is prone to breaking out or prone to acne, without it being cleaned at night. What should women in that case do?
Again, if you have acne, then I would see your dermatologist, and if there are treatments you can use to control this potentially scarring condition. And yes, the studies on adolescents with acne, there are studies that show cleansing twice a day if you have acne as an adolescent is beneficial. But I'm talking about people with healthy skin, older women in particular, or not adolescent women, whether they need cleanser or not. It's just not necessary.
Wow, that's so interesting. Okay, well, let's talk about lip balm.
Yeah, don't forget that lip balm. The lips are exposed to the sun, and it's thin. The lip skin is probably the thinnest on the body. And I always tell people, you do the sunscreen, and so to use a lip balm that has SPF in it makes a lot of sense. You can buy some really good ones. It's about $1.50 for one balm, so it's not a cost measure, and that balm lasts a long time, weeks and weeks. So that's another product that I think if you're going to worry about your wellness, that is something I'd keep in my makeup bag.
So what would be your advice to women that are, listening to this and wanting to, make some of these changes, to save money, but also, to just cut down, how should people kind of go about implementing these changes into their routine?
Well, the first thing I think the message I'd like to give most women is you're already awesome the way you are, and that to be a mindful consumer, some of these marketing messages are just that. They're marketing messages. And the feeling that you're inadequate and you're not enough, in my opinion, I've met some really fantastic, accomplished women who are very concerned about a wrinkle or a dark spot. And I'm like, these are very accomplished, kind women. So I think a little bit of being mindful of the influences these ads are having on you, that's the first step to, I think, accepting who you are. Sunscreen, that's the first step. If you're not applying sunscreen 365 days a year, the best treatment for a wrinkle is to prevent that wrinkle to begin with. And if you have some wrinkles because you're older, embrace it. That's wonderful. But if you want to prevent, again, sun damage, which is what happens with the sun, you wear sunscreen every day. That would be the first big step And again, I tell people to put it by their toothbrush in the morning. Almost everybody brushes their teeth first thing in the morning. Put it right by your toothbrush, put that sunscreen on, and I think you will see a big difference over time.
Because to your point, sunscreen is a more powerful way to prevent wrinkles than a wrinkle cream or a night cream.
Heather, I've never seen a moisturizer, a cosmetic moisturizer, get rid of a wrinkle. I've never seen it. I don't think women have seen it. That's why we product balance. We go from product to product to product. Remember, if there was one really great product that worked, we'd all be using it.
Yeah. Okay. Any other tips to help women get started out there?
No, to keep in mind, a simple routine is all you need. Sunscreen is the first and foremost. A moisturizer if you're dry. If you want to use a cleanser, feel free. Get those lips protected. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Honestly, you can get really good quality products right down at your local drugstore. And again, to look in the mirror and say, kindness matters and health matters and accomplishments matter. And none of those things comes in a jar or a bottle.
So true. Well, I want to show again, this is Dr. Frey's website. And you mentioned, so people can go here and sort of look at, what you found about different products and maybe get some ideas of what kinds of brands or products they should be buying.
Yes, we help you select moisturizers, cleansers, sunscreens. There is a prompt if you're acne prone. If you're acne prone, there are certain products we exclude for you because they have ingredients in them, again, based on the science that's there, and also with eczema. And these are products that are available at your local stores. I personally, I don't sell anything. There's no Fry Face skincare line. I don't work for a company. It's really just to advocate for the consumer.
Okay. And I want to show your book one more time so people can check that out. The Skincare Hoax. Just tell me a little bit more about your book.
Well, the book was because, again, we have a fantastic skincare industry that's advocating for its shareholders. We have the media, which is advocating for the media because they want the ad dollars. And nobody's advocating for the consumer and they don't understand the ingredient listing. So I felt with my chemistry background and my experience in dermatology and having tested products for 3 decades, I felt it was time to put it in a book. And that was the result is the Skincare Hoax. So I hope everybody enjoys it. You can get it on Amazon, I believe Barnes & Noble, Target, and hopefully wherever books are sold.
Well, Dr. Frey, thanks so much for being with us today. This was really eye-opening to learn, so much more about what's really going on in some of these products and the advertising and just to kind of get down to the basics of, what we really need versus what we don't. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your insights with us.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And don't forget your sunscreen.
I won't. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for being with us. And thank you so much for joining us today as well. We appreciate it. I hope we gave you some things to think about. And again, you can take a look at Dr. Frey's book or head to her website if you'd like some more information. And we will see you next time with more tips on how to save money. And thanks for joining us here on Sullivan Smart Sense. We'll see you next time.